What's up, Rockstars? Today we're getting a little political because there was a lawsuit between Cards Against Humanity and Elon Musk. How can two inappropriate entities get involved like this? We're about to find out. Alright, obviously comments are open as always, but of course, anytime you even touch anything political, you gotta kind of worry about that, so obviously be respectful to each other. That being said, this is really a cut and dry thing, and really I'm trying to inform you, but then also give you some insight onto why this happened, how these two came across each other. It's actually kind of an interesting story, and it's an interesting look into how these companies operate. Both sides, actually, so let's go ahead and dive in. All right, so we're going to start on this shorter article here from NBC News. It says, Cards Against Humanity sues Elon Musk's SpaceX for alleged trespassing on Texas land. I have some highlights here we're going to read through, and then I'll add some comment as well. So the maker of the party game Cards Against Humanity has sued Elon Musk's SpaceX, accusing it of trespassing on and demanding company-owned property and damaging company-owned property in Texas. The dispute involves a plot of vacant land near Brownsville, Texas, far from the Cards Against Humanity corporate headquarters in Chicago. So why would they own that? Well, the game maker bought the land in 2017, and what it said was a stunt to obstruct the plan by the then President Donald Trump to build a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Obviously, that never happened, but the land was purchased nonetheless. In fact, the land was purchased this way. Cards Against Humanity said it bought the land after 150,000 people each paid $15 toward a crowdfunding effort. So they had a campaign, right? They're doing what Cards Against Humanity does, right? They're being kind of silly and doing this kind of political commentary stunt thing and buying some land so that they could then not sell. And so the wall theoretically wouldn't have been purchased. The land wouldn't be purchased, so the wall couldn't be built. That was the idea anyway. Now, how serious they were about this, that's kind of hard to tell. They are kind of a jokey kind of company, obviously, right? And a lot of this is just kind of on brand, I think, for them. That being said, this is important on why they bought it, right? So they're saying here, hey, we bought it to prevent the wall. And that's kind of a yes and no. That's really the intent at the time. However, since the wall was never built, they never sold the land, and instead they have another claim to it. So the SpaceX abuse of property has not only destroyed its natural condition, but also caused even greater harm to CAH by virtue of the damage it has caused CAH's relationship with its paying supporters. So before we get into kind of their damages, I'm going to show you pictures. We're going to dive into all that. But suffice to say, their relationship with their supporters, so the people who bought this land, right, or who helped support to buy this land through the crowdfunding campaign, right? That's their supporters in this sense. They're saying, hey, this hurts our relationship because it's now being used by Elon Musk's company SpaceX, and it's damaging the land, and that goes against our relationship with our supporters. Now, again, that's also kind of an interesting parallel, just because of, again, it was originally bought for the wall, and now they're kind of having another claim to it. But either way, I think they're still on point when it comes to how this SpaceX doing this matters. So we'll dive into that, of course, as well. So the next thing they do, obviously, is contact SpaceX, being like, hey, guys, this is our property. And they said that the company said SpaceX responded with a lowball offer to buy the land for less than half its value with a 12-hour deadline to accept. Cards Against Humanity said it rejected this offer. The company also said it would accept Twitter.com as compensation. Again, Cards Against Humanity being Cards Against Humanity, right? Kind of a jokey but satirical kind of lay of how a company can operate in a political spectrum. I think they're doing a pretty good job there. Okay, so that's kind of the big deal here. But really what they're saying here, and if you jump into their actual lawsuit, one of the big things they claim in the lawsuit, and again, this is just a claim, right? Nothing's obviously, set in stone yet, and obviously I'm no legal advisor, but what they're kind of saying here, and again, I'll link down to this down below so you can go and take a look too if you so desire, as well as another article that talks about kind of SpaceX and what's going on with that, and we'll show that briefly. But with this, they're saying, hey, this is the land we bought. Notice it's supernatural, and really, we wanted it to keep that way. So the idea of not building a wall there, obviously the intent there was the whole Mexican border, but what they're saying here is really we want it just to be kept natural. And that's why there's no wall there. That's why we're just preserving this natural land, right? And the problem is, so this is the land they bought, right? And this is how it is now, right? Now, obviously, it's a lot of land and it's all targeted and, when it comes to the pictures of both sides. But obviously, there's been a lot of work done here, right? I mean, they refer to this as like a giant pile or a huge pile or something. I mean, obviously the wording is in their favor when it comes to this, of course. But obviously, as you can see, assuming this is the same spot, it's not how it used to be. Right? This is not how it is now. So that's their stance here is, hey, we bought this to keep it the way it is. Natural with no wall, right? And now they're saying, hey, SpaceX just like came into our property that we own, our land, with a no trespassing sign, and just started using it. Now, why would that be? Well, let's jump into this Reuters article that really dives into it a lot. Now, again, I'm not going to cover all this. This is a lot here. They're talking about, payments to politicians and all sorts of stuff there. You can kind of see what the claims are there and everything that kind of SpaceX is doing to operate here. But there's one sentence that kind of summarizes this. One sentence. And that is from a former SpaceX employee, actually. The company's attitude was to move ahead without asking permission and apologize later. Okay, so taking a step back here. What's going on, right? This is the typical Silicon Valley thing where it's move fast and break stuff, right? The idea is that you have to be first to the market. You have to be rapid in your acceleration, in your progress on whatever tech you're using, and you break rules, you break laws, you go and do as much as you can, and you pay for it later. Right? It's what tons of companies have done. It's why you have phone companies and TV companies like Samsung that get sued by RCA and then lose a lawsuit, but it doesn't matter because they've already become number one in the market on TVs and stuff like that. It's, and that's I'm not like quoting anything specific. That's a general idea, right? Is that they go really super rapid fast, gain tons of market share, gain majority stake in whatever they're pursuing, become the best at what they're doing, and they break a lot of rules while they do that, and they pay for it afterwards, but they can easily pay for it afterwards because they've rapidly progressed, right? This is a general mindset from the people there, and it's a general mindset, I would think, of Elon Musk as well. It's, hey, just build the freaking base in Texas. I want to launch some rockets, right? And we're going to even blow up a few of them. That's fine. We're going to just go through that and improve and get better. And that's the idea. It's very much an ends justify the means in a sort of way. Now, you can decide, yes, that's great for progress. No, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. I mean, you can be on either side. It doesn't matter, honestly. That's why. That's the why here, right? Honestly, I doubt he cares, right? like Elon Musk, SpaceX, they're busy putting rockets into space. And if they get on your land or break a law or, do something wrong, so be it, they'll pay the fee. That's just part of the business. That's just the cost of business, right? That's just them moving forward. That's kind of the idea there. So that's pretty crazy, right? Will Cards Against Humanity get their money? I would think so. Just because, I mean, it looks to me like they have a pretty slam dunk case. Now, obviously, the lawyers of SpaceX are quite good. And so will they get the full amount that they're asking for? Probably not. I think it was around 15 million. I didn't highlight that. But it's a fair amount. Now, yeah, 15 million right here. Asking for 15 million to cover damages, including what the company calls the destruction of natural vegetation, right? Yeah. So it's kind of crazy that the moment you start operating your company in the political space, like Cards Against Humanity does, suddenly you're involved in stuff like this. Suddenly it's a big thing. Suddenly a simple card game that is played by mostly inebriated adults is now in a lawsuit with SpaceX, and Elon Musk is now in the political system actively making stances like, hey, we're going to buy this to prevent a wall on the Mexican border. Or, just the fact that a Chicago-based company is buying land in Texas kind of tells you all you need to know and like what they're purposely doing. So they're very much like stepping their foot in, and now they're just walking all the way in, right? It's like they were asking for this. They're like, yes, this was purpose built for controversy, pretty much. And here it is, right? And now we're seeing it not in the way they had thought, right? There was a lot of worry around the wall being built by certain companies and individuals, and they were one of them, obviously, and acted on it, and that's fine for them to do. But they're getting it just in a roundabout way now with SpaceX. Just, I mean, as you saw in some of these pictures, right? Just using it to however they need to, right? I mean, obviously they cleared this land. Like, if this is the same land we're looking at, like, there is no vegetation. This is a work zone now. And again, that's kind of the point, right? That's purposely done. That's, hey, there's this empty land here. Well, just dump it there. Well, who owns it? I don't know. I'll find out. And then they never think about it again. In fact, it probably didn't even go that far. And I doubt it even went all the way up to Elon Musk. This is just a do it, and then we'll figure out the logistics afterwards, right? And that's exactly what they're doing there. Again, the Reuters report, and again, I'll link down to that in the description below, goes into all the detail around politically what they're doing, how they're adjusting all sorts of land, not just this land, how they're, getting like quick contractors. There's not even really bidding going on. Like, it's just very, very rapid, very fast paced. And that's the whole idea, right? Because SpaceX has to be first. SpaceX has to have that highest market share. And they do. Like, they have it now. And so now they're going to, the legal system's slow, and they're going to be sued by who knows how many people. And they're going to either settle out of court, pay the lawsuit, whatever cost of doing business. They got what they wanted, right? That's the whole point, is do it illegally, do it, break rules, break laws, do whatever you have to get it done, pay the price later. And so now they're paying the price, and it just happens to be from a party card game company. Kind of weird. Let me know your thoughts, obviously, below on this when it comes to how some companies can operate. Really, I think is kind of the takeaway here. Because there's two companies acting in very distinct ways here, right? There's SpaceX operating, like I said, where it's just moving fast, breaking rules, being number one. It's the goal. And then there's Cards Against Humanity, a card game that is running a campaign to buy land to prevent a formerly standing president from building a wall that he says he wants to do, right? So there's two different companies operating kind of almost outside of what their spectrum should be, perhaps, right? Depending on how you view this. And now they're butting heads because what they did went against each other. I imagine this happens all the time. Not so much Silicon Valley styled companies, these kind of tech companies that are, breaking laws. Not in that sense. In the sense that, and so then obviously they butt heads with whoever they're breaking the rules with. But in the sense of companies acting in a way that is a bit more aggressive, a bit more overt, a bit more, I'm coming forward, and now if anybody stands in my way while I'm forward, I'm, now going to sue or operate or do whatever, have that conflict, right? 'Cause that's really what they're doing here, right? SpaceX is like, oh, we're going to be here, and we're just going to, okay, well, now we're here, right? And then Cards Against Humanity, again, from Chicago, is like, well, we're going to be here, and now we're here. And then it just kind of combines. So anyway, that's my takeaway from it. I think it's kind of ironic. It's kind of funny. My personal take is I don't think that they should be, ruining other people's land and property without owning it first. But at the same time, I understand why they do it, and it's something that businesses do all the time. At least this style of business, right? The Silicon Valley, right? Move fast, break stuff. That's their motto. That's exactly what they're doing here. In this case, the breaking stuff is natural vegetation and land next to their SpaceX facility. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.